Hello, this is Emma from Photography Props and Drops, and in this tutorial I want to show you how to use our wall art digital template guides. When you first open the document that you've downloaded, you'll see that we've got lots of group layers here in our layer panel, as well as a change wall color option and the background image, and I'm hoping that you've also got these blue guides, but if you don't, if you have no guides, it looks just like that, and you want to have them, and they are really useful to have in place, what we do is view new guide, and you want 50% vertical and then a new guide of 25% horizontal. Okay, so let's begin. If we come across to, you'll see that they're all color coded to the different sizes, and I've got five different sizes, which I'm hoping are the same ones that you sell. And then we've got in each size group layer, you've got a clipping mask for portrait and a clipping mask for landscape. And you can see there just how lost a 10 by 8 would look, which is what we want to show to your clients, so that hopefully they'll buy the biggest size you do. So I don't need to show you the differences. So if we look at the image that I want to use, I've got a landscape option. So I'm going to switch on the landscape clipping mask. Okay, and then I'm going to copy, paste my image into the template, and then holding Control-T and the Shift key, I'm going to resize. If I don't hold the Shift key, you get all kinds of distortion, which you don't want. So Control-T, hold the Shift key, and resize that it's just about the right size. And then if we come over to the layer panel, that's our image there. If I switch it on and off, you'll see that's our image. So I want to place that above the clipping mask that I've just used, and then Alt key on the keyboard, okay, not sure what happened there. Okay, so now we've got it clipped, we can start switching on and off different frames. So let's say you want to sell a canvas or a floating acrylic that would give a shadow on the wall. If we switch on the landscape option of canvas, you'll see you get a drop shadow, or we can switch the gold frame on, or we can switch the silver frame on, or the wood frame. And you can see you've got a wood frame landscape, a wood frame portrait, and you can switch them on and off. I think I'm going to go for the gold frame portrait, landscape rather. Now let's say we want to change the wall colour, and just to be extreme, I'm going to pick the yellow from her hat. Let's try and choose a really bright yellow. There we go. So let's say we want to change the wall colour. If I switch that off, you'll see the original wall colour there. Now there's two ways you can change the wall colour. You can either, by selecting the change wall colour layer, we can edit, image, adjustments, hue saturation, and change the wall colour that way. However, if you want to use your eyedropper tool, if you did that and then click and then used your paint bucket, I'll show you what happens. You lose a lot of detail here. It's not very refined and looks a bit of a mess. So if I just undo that, there is a much easier way. If we select the rectangle tool, draw a rectangle bigger than the frame, bigger than the wall, and then making sure that the rectangle, let's just close that. Making sure that the rectangle is above the clipping mask. There we go. And then if we come to to the changeable, we can do the opacity, and then you'll start to see some of the shadows coming back in from the window light. So I think that's just a much quicker and easier way of changing the wall colour. Just draw a rectangle over it and clip it. Or switch it off entirely and have that. Okay, so if I just switch everything off I've used, you'll also see you've got a size comparison group layer. Again, colour coordinated in size. And what you can do then, if I switch all of the landscape options on, that's how you could show your client the differences between all of the different size options. And then if I select all, and then I'm going to drag and drop this time. Oops. Control D. Okay, let's say you wanted to put the same image in each one of the clipping masks. What you can do is, if you look here, this layer here is our image. So what you can do is right mouse click, duplicate layer, and do that 5 times, that you've got 5 copies of the image. So if I come across there, you'll see you've got another copy there. So this image here, I'm going to place it above the 10x8 landscape clipping mask, and then actually move it as well, resize it, and then clip it with the Alt key, and clip it, and move it across. So let's say you've done that 5 times. So now if I come back down to this image, the second copy of it, which is here, if you can see, I want to move it above the 30x40 landscape, which is the largest one. Alt key to clip it, and then resize. So you can see there you could have 5 copies of the same image. But let's say you've got more than one image you want to sell. So here I've got 3 images, 2 portraits and 1 landscape. I'm just going to switch that off for now. Now, the templates only come with 1 clipping mask of each size. So what I want the landscape to be the 30x40 size, so I'm going to switch that clipping mask on, and then I want the 2 portraits either side to be 30x20, but I've only got 1 clipping mask to use. So what I would do is select that layer. You can see I switch it off and on. I can move that there, and then right mouse click, duplicate the layer, and then I've got 2 portraits. Okay, now you can see there, because we've got the blue guidelines on and also the snap to guides, that's why I find it really useful to have the guides switched on, because you're guaranteed that everything will be level instead of just guessing. Okay, so I know that that's the layout I want. Now to clip the images. So let's drag and drop that in there, resize. Okay, so that image I want to clip to, yeah, so it's above the right one. Let's place it there. Alt key. Okay, so you get the idea. Now let's just do the landscape. I hope I'm not making this sound more complicated than it is. I'm just so used to doing everything without thinking. So that image above the 30x40 clipping mask, Alt key, resize. Now let's say we want to actually sell framed versions of all 3 images. Again, we've only got 1 copy of the 30x20 wooden frame, so I'm going to choose that layer. There you go. You can see it's the right layer. Right mouse click, duplicate layer. Okay, so now I've got 2 wooden frames. Oops. Anyway, I'm just fiddling now. But can you see that? And then the 30 by 40 wooden landscape frame there. So you could do that. You could create a complete collage, knowing which images, which orientation limit images you've got in your session. You could present them all as a gallery for them. So I hope you've understood what you need to do, and you can see all the designs of all of our rooms on the website at www.photographypropsanddrops.co.uk. Thanks for watching.